Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is part of the group collaboration with these wonderful ladies you see over here. The theme of this collaboration is Thrift Flip. I'm going to talk about this a little bit later. Let's go ahead and get started with DIY number one. For this project, I have found this decorative toolbox at my local thrift store. You see that it has some damage. I paid $2.99 for it. So what I noticed right away is that there is sticker peeling off at front and there is some wood peeling off, or actually cracking. So first thing, I'm using my heat gun to take this off. It wasn't as easy as I thought because it wasn't a sticker. So I had to peel off everything slowly, and then I sanded off the leftover of the residue of the paper. But at the end, I was able to manage to make it nice and smooth. So next thing I'm going to do, I will take this Gorilla all-purpose glue and I will put it in that crack. And I will put something heavy on it and leave it to dry for a while. I think it was maybe 30 minutes, and then sand it off. After that, I'm using this Folk Art Outdoor black paint. I've really enjoyed this paint. It is a self-sealing paint because it is outdoor. It gives a nice shine when it's dried, and I really recommend it if you're into something like this. So I decided to paint everything except the handle. So I gave this toolbox one coat of this paint, and one coat covers everything. So it is very, very good. So now for this handle, I decided to go ahead and mix my white linen chalk paint with a little bit of that black paint to create very, very light gray paint that you see over here. So I painted the handle with that, and then I also decided I'm gonna stencil something up front with the same gray color. So I'm taking the stencil from the Dollar Tree, and I am going to be using this one on the bottom, this pattern. So the first thing I did is I positioned it and I taped it around just to keep it in place. And then I'm using the sponge and very, very little paint and just dabbing it on. For me, I really didn't want this pattern to look very, very bright. I wanted it to be kind of, faded, and that's what I achieved. So you see over here how beautiful it looks. And I'm going to continue with the pattern all the way down the line, and this is how it looks like. I am so happy with the way it turned out. It is so beautiful, so modern. I just love it. And now I gave it one coat of Mod Podge just over the stencil. I didn't go over the entire thing, and also on the handle, of course, but not on the black part because that's self-sealing paint after all. So this is how it turned out. I think I'm going to use it for keeping the magazines, or maybe upstairs in my daughter's room for books. But I absolutely love it. I love how it turned out. Recently, I'm really into those natural tones, like more black and white, gray, and I incorporated it over here, and I think it turned out so, so beautiful. I would like to hear, what do you think about this one? What do you think about the color choices I made and the stencil? Just overall, what do you think how this turned out? And now let's take a look at the before and after. What a transformation, right? As I mentioned at the beginning of this video is part of the collaboration with these wonderful ladies. My friend Liyana over at Liyana DIY is the one who got us all together to participate in this collaboration. Her co-host for this month is Lianep over at DIY Beauty on Purpose. Both of these ladies are just amazing, and I love their work. Other ladies that participate are Maria over at Artsy Cupcake, then Lori at Lori Bly DIY. Next is Amber at DIY with Amber. And we have Lisa at Lisa Birmingham channel. I'm going to have all of their channels linked in the description box along with a playlist, so you can go ahead and see what everybody created. Now let's go ahead and start with DIY number 2. So I got this lamp. It was just the bottom of the lamp. It was broken at the thrift store. I believe it was $4.99. I don't remember anymore, but as you can see, it couldn't be fixed. I had to purchase a lot of things. It would be more expensive than just to go and purchase, a full lamp. So I decided to transform this. First, I'm peeling off the bottom felt on the bottom of this lamp, and then I'm unscrewing the top and taking everything out. Now I'm left with the shallow inside with 2 holes. So first thing I'm going to do, I will go ahead and sand that part on the bottom where the opening is wider. And then I have found this, or actually there is this hole from the cord, and I'm going to take wooden dowel from the Dollar Tree. I cut it to the size, and I'm going to hot glue it and put it inside. I'm going to hot glue from the inside a little bit as well. Now I left it to dry, and after that I'm taking the spackling and I am applying it to cover it up and to make that kind of a texture pattern that is going on this piece. So after everything was completely dried, I'm going to go ahead and take this Martha Stewart chalk paint in a color clay, and I will kind of stipple it, let's say, on that part that I just, added a wood dowel and a spackling on. And then after that, I'm taking this Waverly Antique Wax and a small brush, and I will just go over few spots. I wanted to actually just blend everything in so it's not as visible that I patched this up. And I think I really succeeded. Okay, so after all this is done, I'm taking this clay chalk paint that I used earlier, and I am painting that top rim, or actually it used to be bottom, and then on the east side as well. And now I'm taking this Rust-Oleum chalk paint in a linen white color and a chippy brush from the Dollar Tree, and I am really giving it a light, super light dry brushing. And then I'm taking a little piece of sponge and I'm just brushing it even more off. So I really wanted to just fade it out a little bit. I didn't want this brown to be as visible because nothing in my house is brown. This is not our color scheme. So I did this with the whole thing. And after that, I'm taking a sponge and antique wax, a little bit of an antique wax, and just going over some spots because I wanted to enhance it a little bit. So after that, this is how this turned out. I made it into a vase. I absolutely love it, guys. I cannot explain to you. I think it's so gorgeous, so beautiful. The texture on it is just amazing. I love the natural tones, but I really like that I tone it down to be more grayish and white opposed to brown. And I turn it out upside down to have wider opening on top, but also it can be turned out this way. I didn't close up the other hole, so I can just take some smaller piece of flower or anything like that, or greenery, and have it this way. But I honestly like it better upside down with a wider opening like this. So I want to hear what you think. And now we're going to see before and after. Look, isn't it amazing? Friends, if you're new to my channel, if you're coming from any of the channels from this collaboration, welcome. I'm Jelena, stay-at-home mom of 2 kids. I loved creating DIYs and crafts ever since I've known, and I always created things on a budget and mostly in a rustic and farmhouse style, but I started to create more modern style and I really enjoy it. So if you like something like this, please join me in my channel. I would love to have you. Also, I'm on Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook. Come and say hi. I want to remind you that my regular upload times are Tuesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Those things change sometimes when I'm participating in collaborations like this, but I always try to let you know in advance. Okay, DIY number 3. For this project, I have purchased this kind of orb-looking candle holder a long time ago, a few years ago on a yard sale, and it was only like $3, I believe. I'm going to give this one coat of this flat black spray paint. Of course, I did not have enough, so I was focusing just to paint it from the top. And then on the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and use this Waverly chalk paint in a color ink. It's a very matte black, and I'm first used a brush, and then I realized it's very it's easier to use a sponge, at least for me. So I just started dabbing the paint on, and that way it didn't really leave any paintbrush streaks. So this is how it looked like when I was done with the black. And now I'm going to take this rub and buff in the color silver. This is my first time using it. I always wanted to try it. So I put a little bit on the foam, or actually sponge, and I was just dabbing it on that piece like a actual candle holders, those little round parts where the candle goes. So like I said, I was just almost like galvanizing it, but with this. And this thing is very like almost like oil based, and it really smells like gasoline. And when you put it on, it stays on. It really doesn't chip off or anything. It almost like goes into the material, and I really, really like it. So this is how it looks like when I was done. The only thing left to do is put one coat of this protective enamel, and that's it. I really like how it turned out. That gold was not my color, so I knew I wanted to change it. And since I'm into this black and white thing right now, I really think I created a beautiful, beautiful piece with just a few touches. Also, I really like this rub and buff. I'm going to use it more for sure. I want to hear what you guys think. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it. It might be interesting to somebody else. If you're new, please subscribe. I would love to have you. Make sure you have your notification bell on too, also you don't miss any of my future videos. And now I'm going to show you the before and after pictures. I think a little bit of paint makes such a huge difference in any piece that you want to transform. So now I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments down below which one was your favorite, number 1, number 2, or number 3. Make sure to check out my description box for the playlist and for the links to the channels to all the participants. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.